This is the incredible story of Yamato, the largest, most powerful battleship ever built, wrapped in such extreme secrecy that workers were tortured for losing blueprints. We'll uncover how Japan built this 72,800-ton monster in complete darkness, why it barely fought despite its devastating firepower, and how its final battle changed naval warfare forever. In 1934, Japan faced a problem. America was building warships faster than Japan could match. So, Japanese naval planners made a bold choice. Instead of trying to match numbers, they'd build one ship so powerful it could defeat multiple enemy ships. But building the world's most powerful battleship required absolute secrecy. Every worker at the shipyard had to swear an oath never to speak about the project, not even to family. They built a massive screen covering 75,000 square meters just to hide the construction. Workers were photographed, background checked, and searched daily. The Japanese even lied about the ship's specifications in their own documents, calling the massive 18.1-inch guns 16-inch guns to fool foreign intelligence. When a classified blueprint went missing in 1938, the investigation included torture. The worker who lost it got 3 years in prison. He had simply thrown it away by mistake. These security measures worked perfectly. American intelligence estimated Yamato displaced only 40,000 to 57,000 tons and carried 16-inch guns. They had no idea Japan was building a 72,800-ton monster with 18.1-inch weapons. Why such extreme measures? Because what they were building was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Yamato stretched 263 meters, nearly 3 football fields long, and it weighed 72,800 tons. But the real engineering marvel was how they built it. The propulsion system alone was incredible. 4 steam turbines generating 150,000 shaft horsepower. That's enough power to run a small city. This massive power plant pushed the battleship to 27 knots, despite its enormous weight. The construction methods were revolutionary. Japanese engineers used over 7.5 million welding rods to join the steel plates together. The largest single welded section was 11 meters high and weighed 80 tons. They had to invent new ways to handle armor plates that thick. But the main guns were the real showstoppers. 9 18.1-inch guns, the largest ever mounted on a warship. Each gun was 20.7 meters long and weighed 147 tons. To put that in perspective, each complete gun turret with its 3 guns weighed 2,510 tons. That's heavier than an entire destroyer. The shells these guns fired weighed 1,460 kilograms each and could travel 42 kilometers. These guns were so massive that Japan had to build a special transport ship just to carry them to the shipyard. The armor was equally impressive. The main belt was 16 inches thick, and the gun turrets were protected by 25 inches of steel. Yamato was designed to survive hits from its own weapons. Yamato was completed 9 days after Pearl Harbor, perfect timing for Japan's war effort. But there was an unexpected problem. The ship was too slow at 27 knots to keep up with Japan's aircraft carriers. So while real battles were fought by planes from carriers, this ultimate weapon sat in Japanese ports, doing nothing. At the Battle of Midway, one of the war's most important naval engagements, Yamato served as the flagship, but it never fired a shot. The entire battle was decided by aircraft before the big ships got close. This pattern continued for years, until October 1944, when Yamato finally got its chance. During the Battle of Leyte Gulf, Yamato encountered a small American force called Taffy 3, just escort carriers and destroyers. At 6:57 a.m., from 35,000 yards away, that's 20 miles, Yamato opened fire with those massive guns. Each shell took over a minute to reach its target. The rate of fire was about 1.5 rounds per minute per gun. Not fast, but when each shell weighs as much as a small car, you don't need many hits. The results were impressive. Yamato's first salvo scored a near miss on the escort carrier White Plains at 34,500 yards. The shell exploded just under the ship's keel, causing such severe hull damage that White Plains never returned to active service. Then Yamato targeted the destroyer Johnston. From 20,300 yards away, the battleship fired a full 9-gun salvo. 3 massive 18.1-inch shells slammed into the much smaller American destroyer, along with hits from the secondary 6.1-inch guns. The damage was devastating. Johnston's speed dropped from 35 knots to 17 knots. 3 of its 5 main guns were destroyed, and the bridge crew suffered heavy casualties. Finally, Japan's ultimate battleship was doing what it was designed for. But this moment of glory would soon become meaningless. By April 1945, Japan was losing badly. Most carriers were sunk, fuel was running out. Then, Emperor Hirohito asked a simple question: what is the Navy doing to stop the American invasion of Okinawa? Naval commanders panicked. They interpreted this as criticism and devised a desperate plan. They would send Yamato on a one-way suicide mission to Okinawa. The battleship would beach itself and use its guns like a coastal fortress. Everyone knew it was suicide. They loaded just enough fuel to reach Okinawa, with none for the return trip. On April 6, 1945, Yamato and its escorts left Japan forever. American codebreakers knew Yamato was coming. Admiral Spruance wanted to send 6 battleships for a traditional gun battle. But instead, the Americans chose a different weapon: 280 aircraft from their carriers. On April 7th, American planes found Yamato in open water with no air cover. The attack began at 12:30 p.m. with waves of bombers and torpedo planes. The first bombs hit Yamato at 12:41, destroying anti-aircraft guns. The first torpedo struck at 12:45, but Yamato was built to survive this kind of punishment. What the designers hadn't counted on was the American strategy: attacking from all directions simultaneously, concentrating torpedo hits on one side of the ship. More torpedo hits caused Yamato to list dangerously. The crew flooded compartments on the opposite side to balance the ship, but this only made things worse. The second wave of 280 aircraft arrived at 1 p.m. More torpedoes, more bombs. Yamato was listing 15 degrees and taking on water faster than pumps could handle. At 2:02 p.m., the order came to abandon ship. Admiral Ito and Captain Aruga refused to abandon their vessel. They chose to go down with the ship. At 2:20 p.m., as Yamato capsized, one of its ammunition magazines exploded. The blast was so massive it could be seen and heard 200 kilometers away, creating a mushroom cloud reaching 20,000 feet high. Of 3,332 crew members, only 276 survived. For 40 years, Yamato's exact location remained unknown. In 1985, a salvage team found the wreck using underwater cameras. The ship had been torn in half by that final explosion. The bow section, 560 feet long. The stern, 264 feet long. Yamato's story reveals a crucial lesson about warfare and technology. While Japan built the ultimate battleship, with the biggest guns and thickest armor, America perfected aircraft carriers and naval aviation. Yamato represented the old way of fighting: massive guns and heavy armor. But World War II proved the future belonged to aircraft. In the end, Japan's most advanced warship was destroyed by the very technology Japanese planners had underestimated. If you want to learn more about the engineering marvels and strategic disasters that shaped World War II, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It really helps the channel. Let us know in the comments which titan of engineering you'd like us to explore next. Thanks for watching.